K8BYP, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, with a video on the RadioShine Cleaner. This is something I developed especially to work on the Drake TR3, but for restoring electronic equipment. I developed this about 6 years ago. It is a special, extremely expensive industrial cleaner that I've been using for about 15 years. A non-toxic, non-flammable, non-hazardous, dilute in water. And this is a concentration intended for safe use on plastics, glass, painted surfaces, clear, polished clear dial windows, and such in electronic equipment. The first piece of equipment that I did with it was a Drake TR3, and you can see the glow in the dial window. You can see my arm reflection. This stuff is simply magic. I did that about 6 years ago. That appeared in the 2018 January article I wrote for CQ magazine. And there's the original article, CQ, January 2018. Many of you may be coming from the CQ magazine classified ad to here. But here are the pictures of the Drake VFO dial, before and after. The before picture is the dial just removed from the radio, laid on a white piece of paper. It's yellowed from oil from the PTO mechanism. And after just cleaning with this solution and rinsing with extremely highly filtered water, the picture on the right, crystal clear. No damage whatsoever to the plastic or the dial markings. That's a critical thing in radio restoration. The last thing we want to do is have the dial markings come off. But I've used this on about a dozen pieces of equipment. The Drake, the Kenwood 430, see the glow. Cleaner than new. The old Heathkit, the HP 651, you can see the reflections in the plastic over the dial face. And also the Drake MN2000 and Drake R4A. No damage whatsoever on any of this equipment. What this base chemical is an extremely expensive industrial surfactant. I think of it as a sort of a soap, but radically different than Dawn. Dawn may take grease out of our way, but it will not get out down inside the extremely microscopic pores in the plastic and bring the contaminants out. Dawn is too heavy. It's a bulk degreaser, but not suitable for this. And the process for using this is to take the item to be cleaned and wash off, otherwise remove without scratching the big debris. And then roughly a drop, maybe 2 per square inch of this. This is a 12-ounce bottle. And lightly rub it around with a clean and smooth fingertip, and immediately, without hesitation, rinse it off with distilled water. I use extremely highly half-micron filtered water. That gets the minerals out. But distilled water is best. And I'm in the process of restoring this really nice old Yamaha stereo receiver. And it has the typical years of debris buildup from dirty fingers. It's dirty knobs, especially the volume knob, big, brown, dirty, nasty. Typical for old equipment. But I'm going to take this front panel and these knobs off and take them and clean them and show you the cleaning process, show you the results. Now with the knobs removed and front panel, I need to show you where a lot of this oil and contamination comes from. If you see that potentiometer shaft, you see the lint, the fuzz on it. That wasn't there originally. What that is lint and debris that blows in and is trapped by the oil from the grease used in these potentiometers and switches. Grease is 2 parts, a base and an oil, and over time the oil fades out, washes out, or not washes out, but dissipates out. And it will literally end up from the inside of that pot onto the surface of those knobs. Believe it or not, it takes a lot of time to do it, but that's where a lot of it comes from. Okay, here we are at the kitchen sink. Small tap, extremely highly filtered water, 0.5 micron. Distilled water's better, and our bottle of RadioShine and pieces that are not shiny, like this very uber dirty knob. This stuff is not simply going to rub off. It will scrape off. That doesn't leave the surface in the surface clean. That just takes the gross stuff off the top of the surface. And I'm going to use this tool to reach in here and just dip a very tiny bit of this and spill it all over the countertop. Yay. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, there it is. Gone. When cleaning something like this, immediately wash it off. I've seen instances where cleaning things, especially with solvents, and letting it dry makes the contamination more difficult to remove than originally was. But there's nothing left on the surface. This stuff is just amazing. I'd suggest a drop or two per square inch. What I'm going to do is, since it's tedious to try to handle and clean all these knobs, and if I do, it's going to deposit contaminants on my fingers, and then I'll be handling clean parts with dirty fingers. I want to avoid that. So I'll pour some of this in there, and I'll mix it with about that much water and throw the parts in and let them soak for a bit. There they are, and about that much cleaner and about that much water, and just dropping them in, and a little agitation, and the water's brown. I don't know what this stuff does, but it is fantastic. And by the way, I chose the name RadioShine kind of as a comical allusion to a common thing in the South, and that's moonshine. So we could all use a little humor these days, I suppose. And there's the knob. The surface is a bit slippery, but good clean rinse water. Clean as new. Possibly cleaner than new. And by the way, I have off and on 20 to 30 years experience doing repairs and restoration. I was the highest level technician Sears had back in the 80s, High Tech 4. So I've done a tremendous amount of this kind of work. And I've used lots of cleaners that did not work well. Namely, back in the day, we used Windex, and it was poor, but it's what we had. Windex and furniture polish. And the first place not to go to find things to clean for this kind of job, we don't go under the sink. There's nothing under there suitable to do this. Here's the front panel. Mildly difficult to remove, not that hard. 3 screws, take the knobs off. Not difficult. These little buttons are oftentimes kept in there with plastic tabs. Sometimes they're melted in place. This is a metal panel, so it's on some kind of glued base or whatnot. Avoid like the plague cleaning switches where anything can run inside the switch, because water will destroy them. But these are all plastic parts, so instead of risking breaking or losing anything, taking the knobs out, I'll let some of the cleaner and water run in. I'll rinse it backwards, but and then afterwards dry it thoroughly. But there's the before. There's the before dirt, especially around the power button. The first step I do on these big surfaces is flush them with water, especially on these crystal clear windows. Especially plastic is absolutely vital to remove any scratchy debris. So just water, and get the surface wet. And then I'm going to put my finger over the bottle and drop a little bit of this here and there. Actually, Works a little better to get it up here on horizontal. But pour a little bit and clean fingers and just go over it. And we'll watch up here. All gone. Zero risk of taking the markings off. I can't show you, you can't feel it, but my fingers are gliding over this surface as if it's lubricated. And what that is partly the cleaner, partly the contaminants. You don't dare let it dry on here. But that's it. And of course, I'm not going to stick my fingers in my eyes. If I suddenly have an eye itch, I'm going to either ignore it or rinse the panel off and then clean my fingers and deal with the eye itch. But no chemicals in the eyes, no matter how safe they are. But there's the first pass at cleaning it. Clean off the fingers. Give it a good rinse. Very thorough rinse. Water's cheap. Be very sure the stuff doesn't get redeposited. So since this is very important, I'm going to pause this and tend to making sure all that's off there. We'll have both hands handy to be able to very thoroughly rinse, and also the back side of that clear window. So I had to put the phone down and do that off the recording, but there's the result. I have worked on truckload after truckload and semi-load of equipment at Sears back in the day, including new equipment. And I can tell you, this is as cleaner than the new equipment was back in the day. And here are the knobs that have been soaking. I haven't touched them otherwise. The liquid's kind of grungy. I'm going to drain it off. And these parts were pretty much submerged in the liquid, so there wasn't too much concern about them drying. Whoops, don't want to lose any. Doesn't look good missing knobs. But just a gentle slosh around. I didn't do a thing to clean those, and they are spotless. No touch, no rub, no fuss, no muss. The other place the oils and greases come from are through the air from cooking, believe it or not. Contaminants from cooking, fats, oils, whatnot, smells, actually float through the air and are distributed by our heating and air ventilation systems. So this knob is fairly good size. I can probably put a drop or two on it and do it by hand. The bottles come with a seal so they won't leak. Non-toxic, non-flammable, non-hazardous, can be sent by the postal system. I've checked with the post office, it's okay. So I got plenty of this stuff here. I'll just give it a little bit of that. Put the seal back on. Don't want to spill it. And just a very light rubbing, and it's gone. There are all the knobs. I did zero scrubbing, so there's just about zero chance of me scratching anything. Since these are a matte finish, I dried them off with a soft, clean kitchen towel. I don't recommend that for the clear windows. There's a chance of having debris in the towel and scratching. And scratches are forever. But here's the front panel. It's doing a little air drying. You can see water spots on the window. Those big spots can be removed with the edge of a piece of paper towel or toilet paper or Kleenex, and just touch the water droplet, and then capillary action will soak the water away without the paper touching the surface. That's a way to get water droplets off expensive optical mirrors. But I'm going to shake this loose as much as possible. And the standard acceptable way for drying things like this in the electronic industry is a cool oven at 100 to 120 Fahrenheit. I've seen some in the circuit board industry that go as high as 150. I wouldn't do that to these plastics. Nice thing about this, it doesn't really require any rubbing or scrubbing. The knobs showed that. If by chance some of the dial markings or panel markings are loose, that's less likely to result in them coming off. The markings can be loosened and can reattach themselves to the surface. But rubbing on them with a finger is a way to find out whether we want to or not. So unless the surface is extremely dirty, no touch. And that just avoids that problem. And here is gas convection oven. The oven was turned on to 150. There's the front panel. Convection fan blowing in the back to blow air around. Do not put pieces like that in the oven and leave the oven on. Warm the oven, turn the oven off, because when the element or the gas burner run, they produce very high temperatures of gases coming off, enough to warp parts like these. So warm the oven up, shut it off, put the part in it. But I'll leave that there for a good hour or so. So there's a demo. There it is, new product. As far as I know, nothing like this has ever existed for cleaning electronic items. It may in the industrial world, but I've never seen a consumer or service-oriented product like this. So this is advertised initially in the CQ magazine classified section. I'm going to offer it for $20 a bottle in the sealed bottle label instruction sheet, shipping carton, U.S. postal shipping to the continental U.S. for $20. A little high because fuel prices are high, but there's nothing I can do about that in small quantities. So apologies ahead of time for that. But you can see I wasted a fair amount of this and only used about that much. So used properly, this bottle ought to be enough to clean 2 or 3 radios. So if you want a bottle, do it the old-fashioned way, cash, check, or money order. No one else will handle it but me, so you can send cash if you want. Checks, I'll clear them, of course. But cash, check, or money order, no credit cards, no PayPal. PayPal demands the right to take your personal information and do whatever they please with it. That's not my pal. So let's simplify back to the old ways of doing things. And I'll throw a bottle in the mail to you. 73K8BYP.